Hey, welcome to the Digest, where we have conversations about faith and giving insight into my creative process. So, in the previous episode, I talked about how I became Freedom and where that vision comes from. I'm not just an artist, I'm also a creative entrepreneur. I am a radio presenter. I am a leader all around. I just wanted to now dive into all these other parts of Freedom. Freedom artist, you would have known about that on the previous podcast. On this one, I want to talk about Freedom Session and Freedom Music Group. I always say Freedom is bigger than me, which it really is. It's not just about me. I've never really just wanted to be the face of it, but I've had to do that. There's a question that I asked myself, which is, would Freedom Music Group or Freedom Session be what it is without Freedom artists? Because I know that a lot of the associations that comes with those is because of Freedom artists. So Freedom artist being this person that he is, this artist that he is, kind of brings people, it just attracts people to want to be a part of Freedom Session, to want to be a part of Freedom Music Group. But that's a side note. Alright, so Freedom Music Group, before the name Freedom Music Group, it was Freedom Gospel Music. And I think about my first logo. It was a person holding a plate, and in that plate there was a Bible, and then he had a spoon in another hand, and in that spoon there was a music note. So it was a very complex logo, just thinking back now, all my days. So I went from Freedom Gospel Music to Freedom Music Group as I went to university and I studied music management to learn about music business, music industry, branding, marketing, promotion, A&Ring, being a radio artist, being an artist management. I got the whole shebang. During my time at university, I started putting on open mic nights, and I was attending a local church. And just being passionate about music and outreach and people, I decided to put on Freedom Session. Alright, so Freedom Session was FSL Live. This is the first ever branding for it. It was basically a showcase of other Christian artists and talents, poetry, rappers, singers, and pastors and worshippers. It was just an amazing opportunity for my church to outreach, and amazing opportunity for me to do what I love, which is showcase talents and just gather people together as well. So that was how I started with Freedom Session, which now is a radio show. When I was at university, I couldn't continue to do Freedom Session lives because they were so demanding, and I had a dissertation to do. I was the chairman of the volunteer committee. I was part of the Christian Union. I was the head of the capoeira department. I was just so active, right? So I just couldn't be consistent with monthly open mic nights as well. So by God's grace, I stumbled across to K2K Radio, and I decided to do Freedom Session. The idea was kind of like a fire in the booth, but it was called Freedom Session, and everybody that comes there, they're doing a feeding session. We fed the gospel through music, we had interesting conversations and showcased talent, and then they had that freestyle segment, which was meant to be my fire in the booth, which is the Freedom Session, you know what I mean? So I saw the interest that he built. I saw the type of people he attracted and stuff like that. Freedom Music Group, when I first did it, I wanted it to be like a record label, but being at university exposed me to the understanding of what it takes to run a record label, and I just thought, man, this is too much. So I decided to become a booking agent and took on 4 artists, I believe, at the time. So namely Independent Sandu, Unique Creation, and Sabrina Hilaire, including myself, Freedom. So that was 4 main artists, and from there I began the hashtag FMGUK. And also part of the group at the time, I'll never forget Wendy Broadway, EK, Sheena Marful. Yeah, these are the early people that was around the Freedom Music Group camp at the start, doing behind the scenes work and just helping out, you get me? So yeah, man, so from there the community just began to grow. A lot of people started to pay attention to FMG UK, and that hashtag just grew and became a community later down the line, when I kind of like stopped doing the booking agency stuff, because yeah, my artistry just began to take off, and the balance between being an artist, managing myself, as well as, you might as well say I was managing the others, because it was like early days, just as any form of management in early days, you're doing everything. You're not just doing one side of thing. If you're an artist manager, you know what I'm talking about, and you're the same person that's booking the shows, the same person that's promoting the music, you're the same person that is getting the press, you're the same person that is getting them on interviews, helping with the branding, helping with the release plans. It was just I was just pouring into that, you know what I mean? I wasn't just a booking agent. Hashtag FMG UK now has just become free to use community tool, especially now we have DJs like DJ Renz, DJ Shoons, Nathan, also there, Unit Creation, my fiance Claire. It just grew. It became a sick community.